Welcome to another video. So I was going to be releasing my cigar video today, my collection, introducing my growing collection of cigars. But I was inspired by a question somebody asked me earlier. Primarily, why do I carry so many things with me? So I thought I would do my EDC video, talking about those items I tend to carry with me when I'm going out. Now, my everyday carry really depends on where I'm going, what I'm planning for, but there are a few staple items that I do like to make sure I have. Generally, I work here in my home studio office, and so when I do go out, it's for a night away, going to Montreal, Toronto, heading down to the States, or working in a coffee shop, that type of thing. So there are a few items I do like to carry with me. So I'm going to go through them. And again, really, this depends on where I'm going and what the plan is. But there are certain key things I do like to have. So first off, I never leave home without this. This is with me pretty much 24/7, an agenda. Now, I swear by agendas. Ever since I was in graduate school and working full time, my life became incredibly busy. The only way I could really regulate myself was by planning out my day. I got used to scheduling my activities the night before, detailing everything in full, in very minute detail. So I use just a simple leather-bound agenda. I use the Filofax inserts, the A5 inserts. There are many you can buy. I like the ones that give me a daily breakdown, so I can get fairly detailed in my planning. There's also a number of options where you can, in addition to the daily schedule, you can have note paper, graph paper. So my notepad is invaluable to me. If you know me, anybody who knows me will always see me with this. So this never leaves me. It's with me in the office, at home, when I'm out and about. To write in my notepad, of course, a pen. I am a huge fan of fountain pens. I love the way they feel. I love the way they write. And there's something very timeless and elegant about writing with a fountain pen. And I can always guarantee, if no matter what situation you're in, if you need to pull out a pen to sign a document, if you pull out a fountain pen, you'll be one of the only people having one. You do have to be a bit careful. The ink takes just a little bit longer to dry. And you have to make sure, I use a refillable, I don't use cartridges. So you have to make sure your pen is full if you're going away, if you're going out for the day, or you have to take the bottle with you. It's a bit of an inconvenience, so I just make sure I do keep them filled. I have a number of fountain pens, and if I'm going away, say for a weekend, I'll take two with me rather than taking the ink bottle. Always, of course, my cell phone. It's good for a camera. I tend to not use it too much for a lot of the functions other people use it for, taking notes. I like to, again, commit everything to paper. Primarily, this is just for work, checking in on with clients. I do use the camera a lot, of course, for a lot of videos and content I'm creating for this channel and for another channel I have, which is more work related. So, of course, my phone never leaves my side as well. I'll just turn off the ringer notification. So far, we've got my agenda, my pen, my phone. Of course, my wallet. Now, depending on where I'm going, what shoes I'm wearing, I do like to match my leathers. So I tend to wear a lot of brown shoes. So my cards are mostly in my brown wallet. I do have a number of black wallets as well. So depending again on what I'm wearing, what accessories I have, I will tend to switch out the color wallet. I don't like overly big wallets. I only keep a few cards in them. I don't keep a lot of cash, so I don't need to build it up with a lot of banknotes, receipts, that type of thing. So I like to keep it fairly low profile. A lot of this is, ideally I like to try and keep everything so I can keep it in a jacket pocket. I never leave home without a cigar. You don't know where the day's going, where you might end up. So I do have a number of cigar cases. So I like this fellow here, nice and simple. It carries fairly large ring gauge cigars, which are my favorite. I have in here a Gurkha. So this is a two cigar case, and I find it's always nice to make sure you have two cigars, because if you do end up bumping into somebody and you feel like having a cigar, it's always nice to offer one. And then I have a larger case here, which can accommodate 3 cigars or 4, depending on the ring gauge. And in keeping with matching all of the leathers, I have a black case as well. This one does come with a metal cigar tube. And if we're going somewhere, we went recently to a family event that was held outdoors. It can get a little bit nippy. It does come with a small little flask where I can fill this with whiskey or port. It's important though to really wash them well between use, because if you're using something like port, you don't want it to really infuse the taste of the next drink you put in. I tend to use it just mostly for whiskey or bourbon. And a metal cigar tube. Now you can ditch the inserts, of course, and just fill them both with cigars. I then do need different ways of lighting cigars. Now, because I'm out, I tend to use a torch lighter, in case it is windy. Of course, there aren't too many places you can smoke inside. The province of Ontario has banned, in its infinite wisdom, has banned all cigar lounges. So if you're relegated to being outside, so a torch lighter is invaluable. I do like to use, however, cigar matches. So just in case, I will carry a box of cigar matches with me as well. Important when you're using cigar matches is to, once you strike the match, is to let the sulfur burn off before you bring it to the cigar, so the sulfur doesn't infuse the cigar itself. It might take 2 or 3 matches to sufficiently light a cigar, and really depending on how you like your cigars. And this is one of the things I'll be discussing in my cigar video. So a couple of boxes of matches. I also like to carry a notepad. In addition to my agenda, I like to carry a notepad for more lengthy notes. I like to, if I get inspired for a video, to write down a few points. If a client calls me when I'm out and I need to record some details, I always carry a notepad with me as well. So I discussed my phone being something I use for a camera. If I'm going somewhere, if we're going out for a longer day, so for example, last weekend we went to Montreal, I will bring my little kind of a GoPro style camera. It wasn't very expensive. And it does require an external mic, but it's very, this can be hidden in, if you're wearing deep pockets in a 3/4 length coat, this can be hidden in the pocket. So I do like to carry this as well. And for the cigars, of course, we do need a way to cut them. So a couple of these cases do have guillotine cutters. So I'll carry one of these. I tend to not use these too much when I'm out, but these are never far away scissors. But one thing I always have, and it's attached to my car key, is a cigar punch. Now, it's better for larger ring gauge cigars, which are my favorite. So this is always handy and it's always with me. And one other thing I do like to carry, if I am going, say, for example, to a coffee shop for a change of scenery, to do some work, to meet somebody, I always like to carry a book I'm reading. My book right now is Cigars by Nick Folks. If anybody hasn't seen his videos, he's got some incredibly entertaining videos on YouTube. He's a prolific writer, journalist, and guru of all things sartorial and cigars. So I'm reading his book. This was took me a while to get this. It seems to be continually out of print or out of stock, but I finally did manage to get a copy of Cigars by Nick Folks. I like reading fiction, but I tend to be more drawn to autobiographies, books on, again, so for example, Bespoke by Thomas Hudson, James Sherwood. I tend to be really drawn to books where, fiction, non-fiction, that align with my interests. So I do read a lot of historical books, books on whiskey, books on cigars. So you'll always see me with a book. And finally, I do carry some business cards, rather old school, but there's still something very nice, I think, about handing somebody a business card. These aren't necessarily for my job per se, because I do work online with clients all over the world. So I don't have an opportunity to meet them and to give them a card, but it is still nice to have one, just in case. So that's it. In essence, that's my carry kit. If I do find I'm going for a longer day, I will put everything in a simple leather messenger type briefcase. I used to have a very formal briefcase, but not going to a conventional office anymore. I tend to not use that. Everything here can be easily carried by hand in a coat suit pocket, inside pockets, or just leave in my car. But there we go. Always with me, an agenda, notebook, my wallet, my phone, an extra camera, cigar cutters, cigar case, and a book. Relatively easy, relatively simple. If I'm going away for a weekend, of course, this changes quite a bit. There are a number of other items. I do have a drawer which is dedicated to travel, which contains a lot of my weekend items. If I'm going away for longer, other items as well. So I am fairly deployable quickly. I know where everything is. Everything has its own place, so I can quickly load up the weekend bag, my suitcase. I'll do a video on that too, showing what I do take when I'm going away for a weekend. But there we have it. That's my EDC, my everyday carry. Not overly complicated. I try to keep things simple. I do like, if possible, traveling light, but I like to be comfortable and have with me those things I enjoy and need. So if you have any ideas as to how I can optimize my EDC, or you have any other items you carry in your EDC, please drop a comment, let me know. And I'm working on my cigar video. It's one where I mentioned my nephew Alfie is going to be taking care of the editing, the post-production work. So that will be the first video that he'll be working on. So I'm wrapping up some of the content for that. So that I want that to be a little bit more on the polished side, so that you get more from it. So that is coming. And in the meantime, I'll be filling in with a few more of these rather more basic productions filmed on Zoom. Eventually, it will be on my real camera. But in the meantime, though, I do hope you're enjoying these videos. Drop me a comment. Let me know you're here. Please subscribe and follow, so that you can receive notifications when I do put out a new video. I'm aiming for one a day, just to get back into the swing of doing these, and to get a little bit more practice. So hopefully you're enjoying them. Bear with me, stick with me. And until the next video, thank you. Look after yourself, be kind to yourself, and I will see you soon.